Clownvergence, Clownvergence. We're getting together to make the world better. Clownvergence, Clownvergence. We'll make you laugh and play. We'll take your blues away.
And so my name is Olivier, and as I said, I'm French-Canadian, Quebecois. I lived also in Brazil for many years, and now I'm living in the south of France. I am a social clown, a social entrepreneur, and a meditation teacher. So I'm especially a therapeutic clown, or what people would call a healthcare clown. But in Canada, we like the term therapeutic clown. So I used clowning to heal and connect individuals and communities in crisis. I'm speaking with more than 25 years of experience clowning in healthcare settings, and I work especially in pediatric and geriatric, and help co-found in various organizations around the world promoting resilience through playfulness. And I would like my work to embody the belief that joy and compassion are powerful forces for healing. So many times I've been asked what 25 years of healthcare clowning taught me. And I learned to move gradually from a more traditional, spectacular approach of clowning, where I was more the center of attention, to develop a much more innovative way for clowning, making great use of all my clown's clumsiness and awkwardness, but not just to entertain here the spectator, which is a patient, but to go beyond and what it means to empower a spectator. What does it mean to empower a patient? To empower him or her with what? And in healthcare, settings. It can be so with infants, children, teenagers, adults, seniors, the dying. And in general, in healthcare, they have this center of attention about quantity of life, but it's also about quality of life. And so clowns are such an important, more and more aspect of our healthcare services. And quantity of life is something that is very easy to measure, but how do we define quality of life, and how would a clown would influence it? So during my years of living in Brazil, I was part of what is called a social lab, where people from all walks of life are building collaborative ways to improve our society. And we question deeply this notion of quality of life, because what would quality of life be exactly? Is it something really only for each individual to define, even something that would change during all our life, depending on the context that is always changing? But the more we dug, we all came together to a very obvious conclusion for us all. We understand that whatever are the external conditions of our lives, and it could be at home, it could be at work, could be in a healthcare setting, could be anywhere, we do have a sense of quality of life when we feel to be a resilient person, a compassionate person, and a creative person. A resilient, compassionate, and creative being. And when we can identify ourselves with these uh, qualities, we can say that despite everything, we do have a life of quality. But without these, we are depriving ourselves of quality of life. And and so now this is where I was trying to understand better the function for me of the clown. And how do we help someone being able to develop a sense of being resilient, a sense of being compassionate, a sense of being creative. How do we bring this into a healthcare setting? And something that was very important in life and in the clown world for me is that without failure, how do we know that we are resilient? Without failure, how do we know that we are compassionate? Without failure, how do we know we are creative? And so to be resilient, if we never failed, if we always getting it right from the first time, how do we know that we are actually really resilient, that we can stand up again and again and again, and despite repetitive failure, we still try again? And and for compassion, if we never fail, never experience the pain of failure, the shame of failing, how can we pop out our arrogance bubble? Be humble and really feel compassionate for others, understanding what it is to go through failure, to go through pain and shame. And creativity, again, if we never failed, never got to try again and try again and try again and change and try new things until finally it works, how do we exactly know that we're not just repeating ourselves and that we are actually creative? And so my understanding was to identify ourselves as resilient and compassionate and creative. So we do need failures. And failure is generally what brought people, patients, into a healthcare settings. And for me, this is where the clown is coming in. Because in my understanding, the clown is the artist of failure. And what I was discovering is that through my clown being so embracing being a failure, embracing being in a vulnerable state, embracing to not being able to make things work, is creating a room for the patient to understand, oh, this person is embracing, this creature is embracing completely his clumsiness, his vulnerability, his limitation. And then it kind of resonates with what's going on in the life of this patient. And also the clown, in my understanding, in the healthcare settings, so is in need and is finding a way for the patient to get out being a patient and being there for the clown. So it changing completely the roles. Like everybody, the family, uh, the staff are all there to help the patient. And the clown is bringing a possibility. Um, I'm in need. Can you help me? And changing completely the outlook that the patient is no more the person in need, but it's the person compassionate. And through the game, it's even the person who gets in charge and becomes creative and can impact on the clown and feeling that, wow, I'm having an actual positive impact. And so to experience this with infants, to experience this with children, with teenagers, adults, seniors, especially seniors living like with Alzheimer's disease, and just having this notion that suddenly, because of the clown presence, they completely change the way they see themselves and identify now to a very resilient and compassionate and creative person. And for me, this is how I understood that the clown can empower and one patient at a time. And I understand now that I see the clown in our modern actual society to be the one that cannot save anyone, but that can be saved by anyone. That anyone can feel empowered in the presence of a clown, can find through playfulness, can find a way that suddenly, hey, I can take care of this very clumsy, goofy, stupid, awkward, inadequate creature and having a very like an actual impact, positive connection where I could see the clown has been impacted by my presence. And for me, this is what was the most incredible experience to see in the eye of an hospitalized child to just feel, wow, I impacted that clown. I helped that clown. To see someone with dementia coming out of the confusion and being able to just feel I impacted this clown. So I still have a purpose.
There ain't no place I'd rather be. You're lighter than the sun and the stars to me. Everybody's family at the Clownvergence.